Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, Dyslexic Gamer, and my motley crew of acolytes ready to do their duty for the God Emperor as we continue our game of Men and Monster, our Dark Heresy 2nd edition tabletop RPG with our glorious GM, Jay.
I appreciate you calling me glorious. I might decide to murder you 5 minutes later than I was originally intending. But yes, hello! Welcome to this game where I make them all paranoid and then watch how they squirrel and make stupid decisions because I said paranoia.
Just like the real Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm always paranoid.
You play too much Shadowrun. And it's not paranoia if they're actually out to get you.
But
Yeah.
Dylan, they're always out to get us.
Anyway, so are you going to start with Magnus, or is it Felicia and Sarah going back to the thingy to fly?
You made a sign on that.
Well, it's going to take Felicia and Sarah 3 days to go back up.
Yep.
So I imagine in those 3 days, Magnus is going over the Legion's descriptions and the different specializations with the Lord Inquisitor.
They also need to go with the Lord Inquisitor to find out about how he talks to Lorgar.
Yes.
So let's handle that first. We can have
Totally not heretical.
and me and Yazina can have text conversations while we wait. Handle two things at once.
Sure. So I imagine Magnus has finished going over the legions with the Lord Inquisitor, and he's chosen which legion should accompany him and his ship. And I imagine at this point, I have bought the Horus Heresy as a known skill now, so Magnus would be talking to the Lord Inquisitor about the Horus Heresy and about Lorgar, and then the conversation would get to the point of my lord, I know all of the marvels that you have shown me over the last few days and the secrets that you have allowed me to hear. I must ask, how do you speak to Lorgar? This is something that is racking my mind. He's not meant to be in the Materium, or that was my...
He is indeed not. If you wish to see how we communicate with Lorga, then follow me.
But of course.
He leads you through a couple of hallways, and gradually, as you get a bit of a feeling that you're getting closer to your destination, you also see that the Lord Inquisitor starts taking his more angelic form. As in, he grows larger, his armor starts becoming gold, the wings starts coming out. Until you finally reach a quite large door that he pushes open and then walks through. You cannot yet see into the room, it is dark in there.
Okay, I follow.
The doors close behind you as suddenly boom, 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 boom. The lights in the room turn on. You can see a large circular metal plate on the floor. And in front of that, sort of a large portal-like structure that is lifted off the ground by several cables and basically kept in place by chains.
What material is the portal made out of? Is it like a warp portal, or is it a solid?
The portal itself currently appears not to be active. The materials it seems to be made of appear to be various metals and electronics. You're not able to identify anything specific.
My lord, this is how you communicate with Lorgar? Magnus looks quite confused as he looks around the room.
The Lord Inquisitor does not answer, but he simply goes to the middle of the platform and kneels there. And as he does so, you see that suddenly the platform itself, lines of light start appearing. And the portal slowly starts sparking to life. You wait an hour, then another, as the portal slowly gains more power, as inside this floating circle of a portal, more and more energy seems to gather, start swirling around, until it is entirely covered in the energy. And then a voice comes through. What is it you want? My Lord Lorgar, a new member of the Conclave has asked to view our communication. I believe he may play an important part in our plans, so I deemed it necessary to indeed show him. Very well. Who is this new Inquisitor?
Magnus drops to one knee, puts his hand on his chest to make the half aquila, bows. My lord Logar, I am Inquisitor Magnus Bloodstone the 15th. It is an honor and a privilege to speak with you.
Very well. I do sense potential in him, Electo. Your decision was sound. How further goes the progress? Progress in the plan is well underway, my lord. In fact, I believe we might even be ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. Even if we were behind, I would have cared. You know that. But I am glad that grand purpose may be fulfilled sooner rather than later, nonetheless. Tell me, Magnus Bloodstone the 15th, what legion have you taken under your wing?
The first, my lord.
I see. You are a man who values honor, then.
I am, my lord.
That is a good thing. Lord Electo, is there anything else that you wish to report to me? Not necessarily, my lord. Our progress on the legions has been near fully completed. The construction of your body is nearing completion, and we have almost secured a sufficiently large enough portal. Excellent. I must now leave this communication.
My lord, if I may, forgive my pertinence, but I must ask this. Prove that you are Lolgar or Drillian. Have you ever done so?
And how would you have me prove it?
Right, can I roll Horus Heresy to see if Magnus would know?
Sure.
Forgive me, my lord, I have only recently begun my studies into what happened some 10,000 years ago. I have read your book diligently for many years. It has led me through darkness.
We are all here sons of my father. How do you wish to prove that I am indeed Lolgar Aurelian?
Then, perhaps, not to prove. I have sworn fealty to the Lord Inquisitor here. However, I swore duty before him. I swore to the God Emperor himself that I would protect his Imperium. Would you make that oath? That would prove to me somewhat.
Swear my loyalty once more to my father.
Yes, my lord. Forgive my question, but it would, at the very least,
Would
prove
this
something.
oath mean anything if not done to my father himself?
And as I believe from your good book, my lord, your father is always listening, he would hear your plight, your oath. And Magnus is staring at the ground this whole time, like he's got sweat coming down. He's a little bit shaky, like his hands on the hilt of his sword in like a ceremonial way, but it's trembling a bit.
Very well. So where I currently reside, my father cannot hear me. Perhaps through you he can. Father, master of mankind, the God who I always proclaimed was the one God for humanity until he shunned me. I have seen my folly in serving the dark gods. They have perverted the primordial truth that needs to come. So perhaps you will not easily forgive me. I swear to you, my father, that I will restore this Imperium to the pride and glory that you once held it to. And I shall safeguard it from those that still have the folly in them to worship the dark gods.
I wish to roll scrutiny on what he said.
Pearl.
I will use a fate point to re-roll that. For some reason, when I click on my character sheet, it comes up with an error and then rolls. Not sure why.
That's strange.
Total reverse.
Wow. Good job, dude.
You believe every word he says.
To be fair, he's Lolgar. If anyone has unnatural fellowship, it's him.
I don't know what that... Oh, it doesn't come up on my other screen. That's really weird.
What?
Okay. So I get an error. Cannot call method on dialogue prior to initialization. Attempting to call method destroy. And then on the other screen it doesn't have that. Very weird.
Oh.
Like your main spirit is not pleased.
Interesting. Anyway, she got.
So I believe every word he says.
You believe every word he says, but he continues. If this word of an oathbreaker still means anything to you, then you have my word of loyalty.
Magnus stands up. My lord, forgive me for my questions and my demands. I will do everything in my power to ensure that you are brought back from wherever it is that you are imprisoned.
Thank you. I must now cut off this communication before we are noticed. I wish you again the best of luck. Ave Imperator. And with that, the portal starts flickering out. The Lord Inquisitor slowly stands up. He is still in his angelic form, but
Like, Magnus clearly seems a little bit starstruck in a way, like he is lost for words, and there are times when he's just like, I Forgive me, my lord, for having any doubts. I can see why you have diverted so many resources to your goal. I will ensure that Synthesis Mark IV does not come into the enemy hands.
Thank you. Now, we have no further business in the sanctum. Let us leave.
Sure.
So then, once we're aboard the lander, and how are you feeling after such revelations?
Can you not tell? There, Sarah is visibly playing with her Aquila necklace, which usually indicates she's deep in thought or very intensely thinking on something. What he said. I don't understand. How can it change so much and yet change nothing?
Oh, about the avatar of the Omnisire? About how he denied his own divinity?
Yes, about the Emperor.
The machine god guides us. He would and if he did not have to intervene directly, he would wish to walk among us as man. After all, the humble will deny even that which they do not need. They will deny that their skills are amazing purely because they are lucky, or they have worked, or as hard as they have worked for those who work harder. Perhaps he merely wished to walk among man as one of them, know how they saw the world, and yet his son did not wish to actually respect his wishes.
Now we're gonna try to bring his treacherous son back to this plane.
I have my doubts that they'll be successful, especially when they have to go through such methods. Children playing with tools they don't understand.
Sarah will just mutter. I will just mutter under my breath. I pray that they don't.
The question is, will we be caught up in the fallout?
Most certainly. Something tells me we're too deep into back out now.
I have faith in the Omnisire, and you should have faith in the Emperor. The machine god works in mysterious ways, as shown by our lander never failing us.
Well, I suppose we should all pray that he guards our weapons too.
Observe the proper rituals, and he shall. She says this, tapping her mechadendrite twice.
I will.
Let's prepare to return to the ship then. Orders are orders.
That they are.
And remember, whatever he's been told, it could always be wrong. Records have been lost and records have been falsified in the past.
What would stop them from falsifying them now?
Exactly. And we get ready to leave, as we were ordered to.
Okay.
Because we were ordered by Magnus to go back up to the ship.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's
So you go back up to the ship then?
unless Magnus, for some reason, voxes us, or Microbeats is saying, wait for him.
You'd be waiting at the top of the tower for 2 days.
I think it takes us 3 days to go up the tower anyway.
So Magnus would,
Oh yeah.
Magnus would probably
You're
be
right.
like, no, you go on ahead. It's fine. Go and protect my ship.
So yeah, we go up.
What would I have to do to acquire some decent books from the Lord Inquisitor, or from a member of his staff, like Magnus is asking for books to do with the Ministorum.
So books about the ecclesiarchy.
Yeah, basically.
What time period?
Probably early, mid ecclesiarchal time. So maybe something to do with Van Dyer, or just after him, and where they were like reorganizing the ecclesiarchy. Maybe,
Okay,
or possibly
so-
some stuff about the Sisters of Battle, about maybe how they were started, and
Okay, so you're looking for
gifts for Sarah.
material about the Age of Apostasy, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. Gifts for
All
Sarah,
right.
basically.
Could you roll me an influence to the -60?
Gotta
That's
love
near
unique stuff.
unique.
That's unique.
Oh shit.
Magnus can still do it.
I will give it a go. Oh, I wasn't able to put in a minus for some reason.
That would be a target 15 then.
Yeah, it would be. I'm not sure why it didn't let me...
My character sheets are broken as well. So...
Mine aren't.
Mine are. I
Mine
just tried
are
to
also
close the sheet and it just wouldn't let me.
Correction, yeah, they're broken. I just clicked it to see if I get the modifier and it didn't.
Yeah, no, I got the error you were talking about.
So I've just refreshed my page. I'm not doing this to... Yeah, and again, it's not letting me put in any minuses. How odd. Motherfucker! Damn it. Well, anyway.
Did you spend a fate
I
point?
think I know why.
I'm going to
When
be
I tried
honest.
to connect, the Roll20 wasn't live.
I'm
I think
gonna be
Roll20
honest.
is updating.
I didn't use a fate point. I actually just rolled to do it as a test. To see.
Okay.
So that
But
doesn't
would you say still that you used a fate point then?
If you'll let me, then yes,
I'll
I
let
would
you.
use a fate point.
I'll let you.
Thank you very much.
I'll just check Roll20 to Twitter. Yeah, there's an update going through the character mancer.
Uh-huh.
Question though, do you know if that only war? Fate point spending is just only war, or is that a homebrew?
Oh, fixing healing?
No, that you can spend it post roll to add +5.
I think that's a homebrew. I'll check though on Only War.
Okay.
Okay. Magnus, what specifically did you want? Did you want something about Van Dyer? Did you want something about the formation of the Sisterhood? Did you want something about the ecclesiastical reformations?
Probably about Van Dyer, because that shows Sarah an aspect of the Ministorum and the sisters that she hasn't maybe not seen before.
Okay. You get a book centered around the Age of Apostasy that is very much referring to Van Dyer's dealings that nearly brought the Imperium to a second civil war. And because it is a book you gathered from the Conclave, the book also carries numerous suggestions that Van Dyer may have been chaotically corrupted during this time period. It also has a few references to the aftermath, where Sebastian Thorne, who essentially was the prophet that managed to gather enough support to overthrow Van Dyer, did allow the Sisterhood to remain essentially as an ecclesiastical organization, and that the Sisters of Battle did indeed turn on Van Dyer when they learned that he was a heretic.
Isn't that common knowledge to Sisterhood? That particular part?
Not necessarily.
Not all sisters.
Okay.
It's like everybody knows the Bible, but not everybody knows the Bible.
I get what you're saying.
Cool. I'll have that wrapped in some fine cloth and present it to Sarah once.
Then again, I did paint Alicia Dominica striding off to murder Van Dyer, so
You probably don't know all the awful things that the sisters did in his name. You probably know that,
I
yeah,
know.
sisters bitch slapped him back into his place, but...
I mean, the Order of Valiant Heart is really like, they are really focused on repenting for that shit.
True. So yeah, that would all be basically everything Magnus wants to do in the conclave. So he'll spend however
Oh
many
yeah, by the
days.
way, just a little thing about the book. The book you are given is a tome of 500 pages thick.
Good, value for money. Good. Magnus likes this. He requests a servitor carry it for him because his arm's getting tired.
All right. You head back up to the surface as well, then?
Yeah.
All right. Would Felicia and Sarah have waited for Magnus near the shuttle, or would
Well,
they
did
have?
Magnus ever express that we should go back to the ship immediately, or?
He told us to go back to the ship.
And I assume we went immediately, like, without waiting for him.
If he at any point while we were going up, Mike Vox to let us know he's coming up, wait for him. We'd wait, probably inside the shuttle.
No, Magnus would see it as, I'm not having my people sat around on the top of the spire waiting round when they could be doing other things. Especially looking after my ship and making sure that weird construct thing doesn't summon some warp entities onto board my ship, you know? And Sister Sarah, remember, you are now you are partnered with Synthesis Mark
I
IV.
remember our deal.
Magnus always pays up on his deals.
Very well. And so, Magnus requires a second shuttle to take him back up to the ship then, or would he like to try the teleportarium?
Magnus will try the teleportarium. He's never used one before. He's never seen one before. So
The teleportarium only goes to the Lord Inquisitor's ship, and then you can take a shuttle from there back to your own ship.
yeah, no, he'll do that.
Okay. If that is
Actually,
done,
he'll probably radio. He'll vox to his ship to get a shuttle pre-launched. So, as he gets to the top of the spire and the servant says, "Would you like to take the teleportarium?" He'll vox and say, "You know, Captain, send a shuttle over to the Lord Inquisitor's ship. I'll be teleporting there soon, and I'll await my ride."
okay. You were handed a teleportarium homing beacon and told to hold on to it. And after several seconds, somebody just and you're standing in a room you assume is on the Lord Inquisitor's flagship.
Was that a really smooth transition? That was, you know, there's no after effects. There's no I feel like I'm going to be sick. There's
You feel slightly motion sick, but that's it.
so Magnus kind of wobbles on the return platform and is just by the throne. That was quite the experience looking around the ship. Looks at whoever's there. Inquisitor Magnus Bloodstone. My shuttle will be arriving soon. Would you mind showing me to its hangar?
Yes, certainly. You see a man press a few buttons on a cogitator and a servitor comes through. Please follow the servitor, he will lead you to the docking bay.
Very good. Magnus makes the sign of the half aquila on his chest, gives a little nod, and makes his way out.
Alright. You were led back to a docking bay where indeed your shuttle has landed. Because as far as I know, your ship was still quite close to that of the Lord Inquisitors.
Yes, I think it was.
As you arrive near the shuttle door, you notice there is another man standing there as well. Quite a tall man. He is about the size. Actually, he's slightly taller even than most of the Astartes that you have previously seen. And he is currently fully clad in power armor, has a sword at his side, and on his shoulder pads is your symbol.
Would I recognise him as Secundus Tiger from the First Legion?
He matches the description, yes.
Okay. I imagine the Lord Inquisitor showed me the legions that were around and that he had on planet, and I saw them doing drills or something of the like. So as Magnus kind of walks towards him, trying to figure out who he is, he's Secundus Tiger, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed.
It's
My
good
legion
to meet
is
you.
ready to serve. Likewise, Inquisitor. My forces have been planet-bound for too long, in my opinion.
Well, I hope you'll forgive the matter of our mission. We are to keep mobile as best we can. Thus,
Understand.
mass combat will probably not be in your future for the short period, at the very least.
No matter, we have plenty of training facilities still on the ship that we will be joining you with.
Excellent. I would appreciate it if, whenever we come out of the warp, I would like you to change over your personnel aboard the Storm Shield. I would appreciate if you would have at least 100 men on board the Storm Shield at any given time to add as an additional security detail.
We can arrange that before we enter the warp.
Oh, by all means, I imagine that every time we drop out of warp, you would like to change over the guards so that they do not get idle in their training schedule.
Very well. Nevertheless, I shall give Captain Martin and his men the first shift. I shall command them to transfer to the Storm Shield the moment we arrive on your vessel.
Excellent. Well, very well. Shall we be off? Did you pilot the shuttle yourself?
No, he's standing outside the shuttle. There's still a pilot in the shuttle. He was standing near the edge of the
Okay.
docking bay to meet you.
Then Magnus will gesture to the inside of the vessel and then enter.
He needs to sort of duck to get in, but he doesn't seem to mind all that much. You back to your ship with no problem. Where Sarah and Felicia have already arrived again. As a matter of fact, a day ago. So, has anybody been monitoring Ulstein in this time?
Me.
Attila has
Not me.
excuse me. Attila has been going to his room every day to check up on him, about twice a day because she's a
What I
medic.
want to know at the moment Magnus enters the ship, is anybody in with Ulstein at that moment?
It depends. What time is it right now?
Hold on, let me quickly roll.
Attila would check up on him on the
It would
day
be
before lunch and in the evening.
it would be considered 10 a.m.
10 a.m. So I might be there. I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Sarah will most definitely
am
be
there.
able to be there.
Okay. Almost simultaneously with you don't know this is when Magnus is arriving back at the ship. Ulstein, you wake up.
I'll just sort of play dead for a bit until I can sort of tell what's happening in my surroundings. But I know my.
Do we get like a spike of brain activity, which would
Yeah.
indicate he's awake?
Yeah.
We know you're awake.
Looks like he's coming too.
I'll sit
Is
up.
that-
Old man?
The-
You do realize we're both medics, right? We're chirurgeons of the highest quality. We can tell when you're, awake.
I'll sit up. I'll look a little bit drowsy, and just look at both of you. Look at all the alcohol around me and look confused.
Welcome back to the land of the living, Ulstein.
good to be back. What's happening? And then I'll look around.
We found a
You've
madman.
you've been asleep for 3 months in 16 days of thing. How do you feel?
My
I don't
eyes sort of
have
like
this,
open a
but
bit and
I'm
then
gonna try
blink
to
and then
roll.
go. That's not the first time. Hopefully it's the
I'm
last.
gonna roll this. I'm probably gonna fail.
Ah,
I only hit. Well,
I mean, he's got to try and see through it.
I'm clearly lying
He's got to try and
about
see
you
through it.
being asleep.
That is if he wants to see through it.
Yeah.
nah. I have a fellowship of 23, so.
Yeah. Wait. It deceives opposed with scrutiny fellowship, though. You have any scrutiny?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, you're screwed.
Wait, I was. Wait, does that auto roll?
Yeah, you can't. Currently, the modifier stuff's all broken because they're bringing out an update on
Ah, okay.
1220, and they've got people trying to fix it, but it's broken practically everything. Like, if Jay wanted to edit a character, he can't at the moment if he was edited settings,
Okay.
which would include be giving it a picture.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to give my character a picture.
So all that stuff's broken, but. So yeah, you'll see that he's lying. Because you succeeded.
I'll just turn to Felicia and how long have I been asleep then?
I can't remember, but Felicia would know, so she'll say it.
It's been 8 days, give or take. Actually, no, it's been a little longer.
It has been a month and a week.
Huh. A month and a week, old man.
I'll just sort of like, all right, and jump off the table, still looking drowsy, like rubbing one of my eyes to try and wake
Now
up
for the
and
check.
head into the food.
Follow the light. There's just
I'll later, I'm hungry.
if we can establish that you're fine, you can have food delivered, and there will be alcohol.
I'm not thirsty, I'm hungry. And then I'll keep going.
Let him go. There was nothing wrong with him before. That's probably just something psychically related.
I was more concerned with making sure that he didn't accidentally knock over the alcohol as he got up, or as he walked out. It's a pain to clean.
Yeah, well, it's old man. He's probably fine. Hell, he's been in a godforsaken demon world for 60 years. This is probably nothing to him. Go check up on Cynthia again. You can keep an eye on him if you want to.
This way, Ulftane. What's the last thing you remember? And Felicia will guide him to the food.
I'll say waking up and being hungry.
I mean, before you ended up in the coma.
What would I remember, GM?
You remember seeing Vidya fight some dudes, and then you just everything went black.
I remember the Vidare thing, and then I just passed out. I can't even remember why.
So, never dare.
And I like, wait, was it Vidare, or did I just pass out? It's hard to tell sometimes.
There's no sign of you having a reason to be in a coma, so we had to assume it was psychically active. considering that the dad was doing something out of the ordinary upon an attempt to kill the Lord Inquisitor, with glowing red eyes, oddly enough, it must be. Also, I am avoiding taking him through high traffic areas.
Wait, why? I want my damn food, man.
We're
I
talking
probably
about
wouldn't
sensitive
realize.
stuff at the moment. And I am taking you to the food. I'm just taking you in the low traffic areas. You know, like Mechanicus tunnels that you aren't going to remember how to walk through. And they're probably also quicker, because Mechanicus get to go straight to a place. Very well then. Look at the light. The optical mechadendrite stab light will be looking at you.
Will you stop to do it, or?
No, we're walking.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Follow it up, down,
Will do.
everything normal. And because I've got all the equipment to do the scans on the move, I can actually do them, so I assume it shows it normal. I can roll Medicaid if needs be.
Everything's normal.
You're as close to a picture of health as you were before, Octane.
Oh, so
Told
I'm
ya.
soon to be dead then, yeah? And then I'll like have a self-asserting smug to myself.
I believe the month you spent in the coma will have repaired at least some of the damage to your liver. Nothing another 20 years of rejuvenance can't fix.
I imagine that as Ulftane like grabs some food and Felicia's just Felicia's just like, right, what's next on the docket? You get a convede from Magnus. Acolytes, I'd like you all to meet in my study. We have some things to discuss. I would also like a progress report on the old man.
He's getting food at the moment.
Wait, he's awake?
Oh, you didn't have to tell him. I could have had like another week off. You fuck.
He's been checking on you. He's the one who suggested alcohol.
How nice.
Old man, when you have replenished yourself, would you make your way to... In fact, bring your food to my study. You can eat in there for this time. You can definitely tell in Magnus's voice that he's running low on energy, and you'll hear him like... You may hear a servo skull in the background, just, give me some recap. Servo skull number, whatever you are. Yeah, meet me in my study.
Should I have a servitor pick up the box containing his new equipment?
GM, how long would it take for me to walk to where Magnus wants me to go?
With me, remember.
How long would that take?
Oh yeah, where is the Mark IV still following Scylla?
He should be.
Okay then. Off-Tane, you have completely overseen this entire time a giant fucking mechanical body just walking behind the tiller. You now notice him because you've now had enough basically recovery time if you finished just rubbing just a ridiculous amount of time's worth of sleep in your eyes.
Don't mind him. He even looks cute with his nails painted.
But Magnus, should I have a servitor bring bring Alftane's equipment, the newest item?
No, for now, leave it where it is. We'll go through that with the old man and see if it's something he'll be interested in.
Very well.
By the way, Altain will still be eating without moving, and everything just seems to unimpress him, except when he has something to eat or something to drink. He'll just have a few seconds of smile, and then he'll sort of slowly go to having another bite.
Alftane, come on, you can have more food delivered. You've had the nutrients delivered to you, at the very least. Eating this much will just cause you trouble. Especially here when you need to talk to Magnus about something.
Felicia will probably see I imagine she's got in her in her peripheral vision, she's just got an update of mechanical things and servitors being issued jobs, and there's a priority mission, Magnus Bloodstone, get me food, bring it to my study.
Unfortunately, I don't have the interface for that yet, but I can hear it. Unless, for some reason, my eyes did have that interface installed when I got the eyes.
Continue sitting there eating.
Come on then, and I'm gonna shepherd him.
You can carry me, I'll say. As long as I'm comfortable, I don't care.
Felicia, you would know that we do have cargo crates, like shopping trolleys, basically, without the...
I'm just getting a servitor to push it. I will bring a servitor that's not tasked to do anything important at the moment. There's a lot of things that are important, but one that's doing something really minor, he can go back to it, to put his chair on one of those trolleys and then move him. And it doesn't have to be nice about moving the chair. If he falls off it, he has to get on the chair again.
So sometime later, one of my acolytes might just see, coming down the hallway, Felicia walking next to a shipping trolley with a servitor pushing it, with Ulftane sat on it, with I imagine it like a plate, maybe a couple of plates of food and a bottle of alcohol or water or something next to it.
Nah, it'd be like something fancy, but not alcoholic. Or the fanciest you can get, at least.
You can have a Sprite.
A 40k Sprite.
It's the fanciest of Sprites. It's been aged for 10,000 years.
Oh god. Or maybe just some milk that hasn't been aged that long. Something rare in the Imperium.
Don't ask for milk in 40k. You don't want to know where it comes from.
Well, just don't ask where it comes from, Sam.
Don't ask where the rations come from.
No, you really don't want to know.
The guardsmen know, and they hate them.
So whoever enters the study first, they'll see Magnus kind of sat there, low stick in hand, Amasek, small-ish, medium glass of Amasek, big bags under his eyes. It looks like that now that he's in his chair, all the fatigue and all the shit that's gone on has just him into his chair.
There's a tiger in your room as well.
Not for this, no. This would just be for
He would then.
acolytes.
This is in your own study, right? Okay, then the tiger would actually be in the conference room at the moment.
So I imagine when we came onto the ship, I was talking with Tiger and I told him where I'd like his men to be housed, where the last sons of Electo were. Would have informed him of Latilla and the Silver Shield Guard, being basically me in top rank, Latilla, and then the Silver Guard when it comes to security and things of that nature.
I'm sure he had a name that we've forgotten, so he's
Tiger.
just Silver.
Oh no, yeah,
My second in command wasn't, what isn't it? Ted? Tan? Stu?
Ted.
Tim?
was
I
it
feel so
Ted?
sorry for this guy.
I'll write down his name is Ted.
The good thing
Yeah.
is Felicia didn't have enough interaction with him to feel bad about not knowing his name. Because I don't think Felicia ever met him.
I think you did.
The tiger will express some annoyance about the fact that his men will be reporting to your subordinates rather than to their captain and the captain to you.
If he shows any sign of annoyance, do you want me to roll? Would I notice that, or would that be something I'd need to roll for?
You would notice that.
Okay, if I see that, I will inform him. It's because I'm going to task his men with things that the captain might not want to know. So he's got direct feeds to my acolytes and their subordinates who are above the captain in the pecking order.
Very well, Inquisitor.
Thank you, Tiger. I hope that we will have a successful relationship and that I will be able to trust you with the tasks that the rest of my crew would never be able to handle.
Very well. I shall go prepare Captain Martin and his men for the Emperor.
The God Emperor. And Magnus makes the half aquila and bows a lot lower to Tiger.
Tiger bows back and walks off.
So who would enter and see Magnus all deflated and like just in his own mind like holy shit? Did I just
I wouldn't say that Sarah would come first.
Since this is meant only for acolytes, I'm gonna tell Cynthia to wait by my room.
No, so
Well,
Magnus would
you
tell
have
you
asked.
to, because the ownership's transferred now. Synthesis should be following Sarah from now on, because she'll blank out his make it more difficult for warp beings to find him in Magnus's mind.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he is now my ball and chain.
Goodbye, Cynthia. It was good painting nails with you.
Yes, thank you for that. I think
I'm just going to smile, pat him in the back.
So, Sister Sarah, as you walk in, you would definitely see that there is a large item on Magnus's desk, covered in probably like a silk or some other cloth to hide the contents.
Wow, what other ticking time bomb has the good Lord Inquisitor given us today?
Sister Sarah, please come in. I have had a very interesting few days. As part of our agreement, and Magnus pushes the large. Well, it's a book. He pushes it towards you. My part of the agreement, as Magnus is like searching for words, and as we discussed.
Oh, thank you, Magnus. I'll be honest, I was not expecting that. Uh, On that note, I do hope that your newfound abilities will not sour our relations too much.
I will endeavor to keep that in mind. I'm sure they'll be perfectly fine. I don't see why it should cause any issues. But
Well, if you ever want the voices in your head to stop, you know where to find me. So, what do we have here?
and as you take, I imagine Magnus's office has a few desks in it by now and a few chairs because everyone uses his office as the local library, and he's kind of got his big desk with a comfy chair. Once you open it, you'd see that it's where's the book Jay described? I wrote it down somewhere.
I should say, considering how often we use this room for meetings, it probably has a giant table in it.
But is it a round table?
There is a separate conference room.
No, so Magnus's study definitely has a big desk that he sits behind and has like his little drawers and his little. But I imagine there are smaller desks with enough chairs for all the acolytes, for when we need like personal talks. What heresy shall we talk about today?
Boom, boom. Whoops, the bolt pistol fired. Okay. Anyway, so I'm on my way. The old man's currently sat on a chair being pushed by a servitor. He seems to be more concerned with eating and drinking than with actually doing anything.
Well, sounds like he's back to near perfect health. So
He's not had any alcohol. It's almost concerning how much his personality has changed.
that is a little odd. That is a little peculiar.
I'm sure he'll
Just
be
sat there with my
back to
drink.
his drunken ways soon enough.
Yes, so you have a book in around the age of apostasy, which contains information about Van Dyer. Hints at maybe him having been tainted, and what the sisters did back then.
Thank you. I'm gonna add that to my inventory. Inventory, not talents.
And Magnus will kind of like remember and next time it would probably help if I had an idea of what books you wanted. Apparently this one was quite difficult to obtain. I just went with rough knowledge that I knew of and thought this would interest you.
Thank you, Magnus. Yes, much of what happened during that time, well, it is considered a sore spot and a blemish on our history.
Magnus kind of gives oh okay, like a kind of interested look, but at the same time it's kind of books are expensive. That's I had expected a possible data slate, but I guess they took my terminology literally, and well, they made a bit of a fuss about, not letting the wrong people see it and this, that, and the other. But yeah, I figured you're an acolyte. It's fine.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Magnus has a little smile on his face, and I appreciate you performing your part of the deal. So is it Latilla, Felicia, and Ulftane all coming together?
Probably not. I said I was going to leave Felicia with Ovthing while they went to the mess hall to get food. So I'll probably arrive before then.
And then a few minutes later, or however long the distance is, that would have an effect. The two people show up.
Magnus, Sarah, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Sister Latilla. We have some new personnel joining our merry little ship. We also have a new ship that's going to follow our ship.
We're in our fleet? Interesting.
Kind of. Magnus passes over a data slate. It's a troop transport. I've ordered 1,000 men to join us aboard. Sorry, I've ordered 100 men to join us aboard to add as extra guards for our current mission. The other 9,900 will be in a troop transport that will follow the Storm Shield wherever it may go.
So, I'm assuming these are sons of Electo?
Yes, but I was given the privilege to name them. They're the First Legion. I named them the Emperor's Knights, given that they specialize with, they specialize with swords and shields, and their Secundus, their captain, hiding captain, general, excuse me, I'm very tired at the moment. His name is Tiger, and they seem like an honorable bunch. They seem like my kind of people, so.
I see. Well, anything else I need to know?
Yes, there will be more, but I'll wait for Felicia and the old man to arrive for that.
And because dramatic convenience, they show up just then.
Oh, Brother Felicia, please, please enter. Old man, you will have to actually Tor push the chair in. Just place it next to the table there. Perfect.
Just sat with a plate on my knee and a glass in my hand.
It's good to see you're up and about, old man.
I'm very tired for some reason. Weird, but I'm still up, I guess.
That'll be the effect of exerting yourself after a month of not doing anything.
I guess you're right. I'll just have to go take another nap then at some point.
Well, you gave us a bit of a scare there, old man, so maybe try not doing whatever the hell you did to get in that state in the first place.
That'll be difficult. Doesn't even know what happened.
I'll just shrug.
Just that he could see him, and during our fight before he collapsed, and then he was gone. And the next thing he knows, he's waking up in bed.
Okay, well, maybe you'll remember something after the dust is blown through. Well, for the moment, old man, we have acquired a few items that would prove to be quite useful for you. One in particular, we have a, what did you call it now, Brother Felicia?
The Force Sword?
Yes, would you be willing to join the front line and actually use a sword.
Checks stats.
Like moves arm around and like
Very good.
flexes and like pretends to swing a sword.
Remember, you get bonuses for using force sword. Just because it's best.
Because if you can use it, then you're more than welcome to, to have it.
I'll give it a try. What's the worst that could happen?
We also have, a suit of power armor that Brother Felicia here tells me that, is powered by a psyker's psychic ability. If you can make use of it, then by all means, you may. I would, however, like Brother Felicia to study it some more. I've never heard of such a power armor before, but I'd like to know what the Mechanicus knows about it.
It all sounds like a lot of effort, you know, putting loads of effort into swords with my psychic ability and then protecting myself with my psychic ability.
And Servitor goes and retrieves it. It was under Olftane's bed. And it probably accidentally drags out like 30 bottles and a sec. Does that sound like the underneath of Olftane's bed, Duca?
I reckon he'd keep his room quite clean. Whenever he was sober, at least he'd put effort into it. And then he'd go and get drunk.
So his alcohol isn't in his room. Or at least there's full bottles in his room.
And maybe on a shelf.
But yeah, then Servitor eventually comes up with it. And the armor should have already been delivered up here in... Or if you've sent it elsewhere, it should be within the rest of the equipment we're not using in our equivalent of an armory. The material it's made of indicates that it would be best suited for one of your abilities.
Do I remember if anyone was good with their melee weapons? I've forgotten. I haven't played in a couple of
You
weeks.
remember Magnus is good with a melee weapon.
Felicia's scary with a power axe.
I'll challenge my Lord Inquisitor, or my Inquisitor at least. I'll just stand up with the sword, wave it around a bit, and then point it at Magnus and sort of circle around him.
You realise Magnus is sat in his chair with a glass of
prefer-
Amasec, like looking completely drained and defeated.
I
I imagine his sword is leant up against his table.
shall be your opponent.
I want to go with Magnus though. I'll say this in character.
Oh, fine. Magnus gets up off his chair, picks up his sword, and draws the blade. Now, don't go trying to kill me now.
Drift tracker.
What are the stats for a 4 sword?
Okay.
They are 1d10 plus 1 plus whatever your psi rating is. Pen 2 plus whatever your... No. Yeah, 2 plus whatever your psi rating is.
I've done the mental maths for it. It's 1d10 plus 7, pen 8. It's balanced.
My rating's only 6 then.
It's got pen 2 naturally. And it does plus 1 damage naturally as well. You just buff it to insane levels. It weighs 5 kilos and it's got balance, so you get a plus 10 to parrying.
Best quality also means you get a plus 10 to all standard attacks and everything. I think that also counts to parrying.
I'll check the wording of it because it might be weapon skill related to it.
Yeah. Not to
Or
mention...
weapon skill tests made with it.
Okay, so that is a plus 20 to parrying, and a plus 10 to any attack roll made with it. Also, because it is a force sword, if you do have a half an action remaining after hitting someone with it, you may spend the other half action making a willpower test that, if successful, will deal additional energy damage.
And I'm going to roll initiative so I can be there to intervene if things go wrong.
Okay.
Right here then.
So
Wow.
you do realise we can't put any modifiers in.
Oh yeah.
There is a... I can do the maths in my head for us.
Actually, if we're close, then
I
psi rating, you're psi rating free.
Can I ask her to stand back? Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair.
It's working again for me.
I mean, I can't.
Oh,
if
the
you
modifiers
ask
are working.
anyone.
Shit is working! Yeah!
Not on mine, I'll reload.
Yeah, I will reload as well.
Blit.
Me.
Veröplet. Cheeky breaky of Dampke.
Oh god.
I've already lost half the plot because my connection keeps dying on me.
Okay. Right now, Ulftane's testing his force sword by fighting Magnus.
No, that bit I got, but before that I lost most of it.
Does Ulftane put his armor on?
Does Magnus have his armor on?
Technically, yes, I do, because I haven't taken it off.
Who's going to wear the power armor?
Sure, I'll wait for the old man to don his armor.
You put this on here and this on here. I'm helping you put it on.
Magnus picks up his shield and is just like, oh man,
Unfortunately,
you've only just woken up, but I've been through an awful lot in the last, 8 days.
Unfortunately, I've yet to have a new helmet made for it. You'll have to go without.
I'll just stare at Magnus while she's speaking and say, coming up with excuses before we've even started.
Don't think that can't Ulftane sense the psychic powers in Magnus now?
If you're also sinus, yes.
I assumed he had warp sense.
Nope.
That doesn't mean he's passively doing it.
What's my armor now then?
Everywhere but
Plus
your
7.
head. Yeah, it's 7.
Wow.
Never wear but your head because the thing doesn't have a helmet.
However, attacks on you get a plus 10.
Ah. Is
And
that the same
your
for Magnus then?
Oh yeah, also
Or is he
you
not?
count as being one size larger, meaning that also your movement is upped.
My
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah, I think your movement's now agility bonus plus 1.
Ah.
That's your base movement, and then multiply a stack as normal.
Okay.
And you have a natural strength 1.
Wow. That's a lot of stats.
When we get you a helmet, you have an internal oxygen supply and Vox system.
cool. I like this armor already, actually. Alftain goes from not really wanting the armor to being like, ooh, and he's quite impressed with
Yeah.
it.
Often you
It's
also
like-
immediately recognize this is Fide's old armor.
And
and
then
his
I suddenly
sword.
feel uncomfortable, but I'm still enjoying myself.
It is Fide's old sword as well.
Would
You're
you
You're
probably
wearing Dead
notice?
Man's trousers. How does that make you feel?
Pretty fucking good.
We've all been doing that this
Fuck that
whole
man.
series. These whole series, we've been doing that. So
What?
I wasn't.
What, vulturizing?
All my armor was legally acquired.
yeah, mine's not.
Oh yeah,
So was, I
you
think so was mine.
you two actually got armor the normal way. I'm wearing a dead guy's mesh cloak that I just keep upgrading with intelligence.
I
My
got my
guns,
armor's from
however,
that
are
series 1, so
That's kind of grim, isn't it?
both my sniper rifle, my specialist rifle are salvaged. Everything else, I think it's mine.
Most of my weapons are
old man,
salvaged.
what's
otherwise.
your agility?
Less than
It's
yours.
2. No, 3, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
your
he's got-
whole agility. So what's the whole number?
Is this 30?
30.
30 dead. Okay, so I am above. I've got 36.
Yeah, modifiers back.
So
Okay.
as Magnus kind of like moves, like whilst Ulftane's getting into the armor, he moves his desk back a bit and moves some of the tables and makes a little sparring area. Everyone stand well back now.
You're not going to hold back just because I'm old now, are you?
I'm gonna hold back because you're my comrade and I don't really want to put you in the ground. Plus, I do have like important information to give, so please try not to like slit my throat or anything by accident.
I've never used the sword before. I'll try my best, though.
Also, does Alftain have weapon training low tech?
Weapon training, what, sorry?
Low tech.
No?
Minus 20 then.
Oh, yes, I do. Wow,
Oh,
I
you
didn't
do?
even know that.
I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone gets low tech.
I don't think I do.
do.
I automatically have proficiency at pretty much every weapon type I have, but I don't have low tech.
Figures the Mechanicus is the only one who doesn't have low tech.
It's great. I've got a best quality knife. I don't know how to use it.
I don't think we have low tech.
We do.
Yeah. We
I have it on
do?
my
We
sheet, so I assume I
absolutely
do.
Sisters of Battle start with
I haven't
low
touched my
tech.
talents since
No,
I
wait,
moved off
actually,
Tainted
yeah,
Gods.
yeah,
we
we
started
don't
with
have low
chain.
tech.
We have chain. It's
Never
different.
mind.
Magnus
And-
takes up a stance.
Yeah, he's got it because he starts with it as telepathica.
I won't take up a stance, but I'll be ready, just with a proper cheeky smirk on.
Felicia, do you do anything this time?
I'm ready to intervene if anybody is risk of dying.
Hold action,
Alright.
stop dying.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll either. Unfortunately, I can't specify two things, so I can't I'll either medicate or take down the other guy.
Hmm.
So if it looks like one of them's not going to stop and the other one's down, I'll take down them.
Well, Magnus is going to take a defensive stance. He's going to let the old man, because he's meant to be testing his swordsmanship. Magnus is the sparring partner, so
And to
defensive
punctuate
action.
it with a begin, it'll be very well begin and Desolate Power Blade.
Magnus takes a defensive action, looks over at Brother Felicia's power blade coming out, and like, you're not fighting. And that's
And to make
Magnus's turn.
sure.
Oh,
Okay.
Alftain doesn't get one. He just stands there, passes. Nah. Alftain he'll get ready to attack, but he'll circle Magnus as if to try and sack him out with the sword ready to attack.
That's all his move. Just circling Magnus. And until otherwise, my held action will be the same.
Magnus like, fine. He charges the old man, whose token is far bigger than him. He's massive.
Benefits
I
being
can't
size
change the
5.
size of my token. Is Magnus not in armor?
No,
No.
I am. I'm just not in power armor. I'm in character.
You're in power armor, which
Ah.
makes you bigger because it's really big. You know, like how you got the Inquis, like when you look at the Inquis in power armor and it's just massive on them. You're like that.
No.
You're the Inquisitor in power armor, despite not being an Inquisitor.
Would Elfstein like to parry or dodge?
It's just a normal attack as well.
Parry's plus 20, isn't it?
You get a plus 20 to your parry at the moment, yes.
Okay, I'll
For a man who says he's never used a sword, that was a near perfect deflection of your attack.
You see like a small smile appear on Magnus's face and a little nod of, impressive.
keep my cheeky grin with while only moving one arm. Counter attack. It's my turn, kid.
One question: do you aim?
Yes. Wait, can you half aim with melee weapons?
You can.
You can,
It's-
but if you half aim, that means you don't have a half action remaining afterwards to use the force special quality of the weapon.
Ah. To
Then
do the
again,
extra
if you
damage.
use the force special quality of the weapon, you'd probably kill Magnus.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
hurts a lot. 1d10
I
per
won't-
degree success.
I didn't charge or anything, so I'll just standard. Modifiers plus 10.
Plus 10 for your weapon, yes.
Better.
Okay, Magnus will parry.
An important thing to note: on the parry, the force sword just comes away with sparks.
Wow, that was close.
You could have died.
I could have done. Well, to be honest with you, if you hit me in certain areas, I should be completely fine. Only certain areas, though. So, half aim.
Wait, what was the my special willpower test then?
If you have a half action after you attack, so you don't aim, then you can roll willpower if you've hit with it, and they have to oppose with willpower. For every degree of success you get on the test, you do 1d10 energy damage, ignoring armor and toughness.
Wow.
Yeah. On top of that, your sword automatically bypasses demonic passively because you are wielding it.
Wow. Okay, time to parry. Wow.
Masterful deflection once more.
Damn, I'm gonna just become an amazing swordsman now. I'm enjoying it.
Magnus is just like, with each successful parry, just like, since when did you... What in the hell is this?
I swing inwards for the attack, you parry backwards, and then the balance of power changes. You swing back upwards. I parry backwards as I take a step back. Get ready to attack again. I'm gonna half aim this time. I don't want to do the ridiculous amounts of extra damage.
Yeah, because you have really good willpower. Good news is, if you use this power, you can't generate psychic phenomena on it, despite it being an insanely powerful force ability.
Now, I didn't do this last time, but his size doesn't go on to parry, does it?
It doesn't.
No.
Okay. Oh, actually, balanced gives you a +10
Plus
to
10.
parry.
Oh, I got a
Yeah.
I
plus
forgot
10.
about. I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
about that.
I forgot about that as well.
Yeah,
I
that's
struck
why you're
40.
getting. That's why you're getting plus 20 to parry.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Ooh, another close
Not
one.
Ooh.
Yeah, whereas Magnus's parries are a lot sloppier. He's getting it in there. You can probably tell he's like tired, but that's why he's so impressed, because the old man keeps coming in like lightning fast, perfect positioning. He's like, what the fuck is?
You do notice that I currently have bags under my eyes as well. That whole too much sleep makes you tired thing.
Magnus will actually stop there and break his stance and, oh man, where in the hell did you learn how to fight like that?
Do you take a step back, or are you still close to me?
Yeah. Magnus would lower his sword, like take a step
Ah,
back,
shit.
and
I'd try and just like still be ready to attack, but sort of look like I'm calming down, as if to like pretend the fight's over. And then I'll say I've never practiced sword fighting before in my life. This is a first.
then the God Emperor has gifted you, my friend. That was quite impressive.
I like to take responsibility for my own actions.
Magnus kind of gives a little laugh and, well, you are gifted then. That was quite. I was not expecting such a precise maneuver. Are you sure you've had no one teach you anything about swordplay and stances and such?
Sure as I'll ever be.
Well, I would recommend that you begin taking some time to practice your talent. Magnus like sheaves his sword, goes to put it back by his desk. Well, no, he starts pushing his desk back out to where it was.
Before that happens, though, can I make an attack before the conversation ends? Like, before you put your weapon away? Actually, nah, that's a dick move.
I was gonna say you can make your attack, but you know exactly what happens the instant character. You make the attack. If Wolfgang would make the attack, though, he makes the attack. Which is the question.
It'd be one of those where Magnus is clearly like, he's definitely gotten tired from this little sparring match, and he would be very much, his guard has gone back down. He's getting ready to like sheathing his sword.
Never mind. I won't ask you to finish it.
So Magnus begins pushing his desk back out to its original position. Puts his sword and his shield down back in his seat. Picks up his hammer sec. Lights another low stick. Big drag and release. So, for those of you who are not on the planet, where to begin? The Lord Inquisitor plans to bring Lorgar, son of the Emperor, back into the Materium via building him a construct in which his soul can reside.
Oh boy.
3 of us have also been informed that during the Heresy, Lorgar attempted to teach the worlds that he had conquered to revere the God Emperor as a god. In my humble belief, I truly do think that the God Emperor was not so big-headed. He was a more noble man. He did not want to be seen as what us mere mortals saw him as. So he punished Lorgar for his transgression. Lorgar then betrayed the Emperor. If, and I do say if, you will believe what the Lord Inquisitor said, I have no doubts that he spoke the truth as he saw it. This means that Lorgar was a traitor and fought against the God Emperor. However, we mere mortals have put the God Emperor on his plinth. We have risen him up to his divine spot. I, for one, truly believe he is a god and he does watch over us. Magnus makes the sign of the half aquila. I asked Sister Sarah and Brother Felicia to leave us. There was a device there that I know nothing about. Magnus will describe the room that he saw and the portal and how it was chained. The Lord Inquisitor stood on said portal and activated it. This Sister Latilla, old man, I sat in the chair again, and I was shown again the vision of a twisted reflection of myself. A demonic version, perhaps. It was pained by my devotion to the God Emperor. It feared his name. I suspected that this might have the same effect. Lorgar is trapped in the Immaterium, within the warp. I made him swear his loyalty to the God Emperor. Swear is an exaggeration. I asked him pitifully on one knee. But he did it. He swore to the God Emperor, and I believed him. So, that is all the information I have on what the Lord Inquisitor is doing. However you feel about this, and believe me, we will discuss it. But I am ordering you to follow out my mission for the Lord Inquisitor. I also order you that if this should go wrong, that you will, if needs be, put me down, if needs be, flee, and inform the rest of the Imperium or the Inquisition about what is going on. But for now, he has my faith. He has my trust.
So we're putting trust in oath breakers now.
At the very least, the body that they wish to make him, if it is even him, inhabit, it should be weaker than the body of a Primarch. It should be killable.
Small consolation at the very least.
Put them in the right places and the wrong conclusions are drawn. Then pretend to be Lorgar, feeling repentant, and provided he's devoted enough, you could have him eaten out of the palm of your hand.
I've always given everyone I meet a chance. I am willing to give Lorgar a second chance. After all, has he not been proven right? Do we mere mortals not see the God Emperor as a god?
And so he should be vindicated because of death.
Vindicated, no. But I believe that we should take every precaution we can take. I don't want to do this blindly. I would like to know that when Lorgar is returned to this plane, that we have enough firepower on our side to ensure that the rest of the Imperium does not suffer. But from the depths of my soul, I think we all have... Well, Magnus looks at the two sisters, looks at Brother Felicia, and then... by the throat. Old man, tell me you had, like, problems with your father when you grew up.
I might have if I knew him.
If you knew... Oh, for the throne. Okay. I had problems with my father, so I can...
That's good for you.
It's not the same, but I can see where the issues could come up. I wish to give this... I wish to give the Lord Inquisitor's plan my full support. And I need to know what my acolytes, if they are going to be behind me or if they are going to be scheming behind me.
I'll just look around the room.
Magnus, can you be 100% sure that you actually spoke to a Primarch? Can you be 100% sure this is not just some very elaborate ploy that has been set in motion for years and years now?
Sister,
I've had problem.
when is anything 100%? Magnus smiles, and no, I can't. Not 100%.
Sorry, Magnus, my gut tells me that you're being lied to. I will help you, always, but you should know that I do not like this at all. For all we know, we could be helping dark forces that we have no knowledge of. And yes, before I joined the Sisterhood, I've had problems. Not much with my father, but my mother. She paid a price, but were you speaking of the God Emperor and his children? They're not like us, Magnus. They're elevated. They're angels.
Clearly, they're not infallible.
Are you sure about that, sister? Are you sure you have not just been lied to?
Have I not just stated that those playing with records could falsify such things?
If the God Emperor was infallible, he would not be sat upon his throne. I don't believe he can affect everything.
And what's to say the homicide is not exactly where he wishes to be?
Magnus kind of gestures to
in direct communication with the machine god.
That's a fair point. But he wouldn't have let the heresy happen. The schism.
Magnus, are you telling me are you telling me you're capable of knowing what the God Emperor is thinking at this exact moment?
No, I don't think that. But I do think that the God Emperor does watch over me, in a sense. I've lived through far too much for him not to cast his gaze upon me from time to time. And I honestly believe that the God Emperor needs every one of us to aid him in his fight.
So you're telling me that you believe this will aid the God Emperor? I'm sorry if I'm skeptical, but the more I hear and see, the less and less I trust the Sons of Alecto.
It's because they are not to be trusted.
For all I know, they are just doing the bidding of dark forces. Maybe without their own knowledge. Maybe they're trying to do something that they believe is good, but dark forces have their way of twisting and turning and making you do the bidding. far as I'm aware, that's the only thing that is at play here.
Sister
Well, we-
Latilla, I will give you the fact that you weren't on planet, but you were there to see all those Inquisitors, and all those Inquisitors support the Lord Inquisitor. I don't know how deep they're in. It seems as if my experience on the chair elevated me rapidly within the Lord Inquisitor's inner circle. I do not know if what we walk into is... Magnus looks at Brother Felicia, Techno Heresy, looks at Sister Latilla, Demonic Heresy, looks at Sister Sarah, or straight up just treason. But I will support it, and when the shit hits the fan, and we need to destroy the construct, banish the demon, destroy the Xenos, or purge the heretic, we will be there. If the God Emperor does watch over me, if he does lead me on a path, then I'll make sure that I'm prepared for any situation. So, Brother Felicia, your duties will be to investigate the power armor, learn as much as you can from it. Learn as much as you can about the construct, its design, its build, where its weak points could be, what it may take to bring down such a thing. Sister Latilla, you will also work on, let's say, our troops, and ensuring that we have adequate areas aboard the ship to fortify, to have the Lance Battery teams work on precision shots. If we must drop out of the warp to engage in a hostile asteroid field to do so, then we shall. Old man, I would like you to continue practicing your swordplay, but you also need to instruct me in other matters. Sister Sarah, I need you to research as much as you can about saints. I need to know if and what they are. Because as far as I have any recollection of, golden wings that sprout for someone's back, surrounded by iridescent light, is normally a good thing. So I would like to know if this has ever been a tactic used by... And Magnus, reaches out an arm and slaps onto the big book of evil.
I'll do what I can. And for what it's worth, I'll be there with you to see it to the end. If only to drive a blade through the traitor's heart.
As for our mission, as it stands, the prototype Synthesis Mark III model cannot fall into enemy hands. For the love of the throne, do not...
I believe you mean the Mark IV.
Oh, the Mark IV. For the love of the throne, don't ask what the enemy is. It's not good. We are to be on the move, apparently. Our mission is not exact. We are to keep this thing from falling into enemy hands, and that's about it. So, if anyone has any suggestions or worlds that they would like to visit, by all means, handwrite the note and suggest it to me. The only objective I would like to try and do is to contact Gregorius. I wish to inquire with him as to what he knows.
Well, we could always find ourselves a little gene stealer called the Purge for the sake of old times.
Out of character, did you tell us that you are now a psyker by any chance?
No.
Okay. Very well. I'll help you, as usual, but I do hope my concern reaches you, and you understand where I'm coming from. And I'll make sure to have plans ready, in case shit does hit the fan.
Magnus kind of raises his glass, takes a little sip, and of course, Interrogator Latilla, that's why you are in the position that you are in. Your opinion is always welcome.
Is there anything else? If not, I'll bid my leave. I'll make the sign of the Aquila, give a small bow, and I will leave. Oh boy, did my Discord crash again?
No, we heard you.
Okay, okay. Okay.
I shall get to work then. Octane, would you mind moving the armor to... And then I give an empty room that I typically use.
Can you not get a servitor to do it, or
It would allow you to get used to the armor. Better that you're...
I'll look used enough to it when I was fighting Magnus, and then I'll give a tricky grin.
Time with the machine spirit is necessary to ensure maximum efficiency.
Old man, I did ask Brother Felicia to investigate the armor some more, so...
If you truly do not wish to use it, then I shall use Servitor. However, that just means you'll have to come and collect the armor.
Okay, then.
And I do need you to talk to you, old man.
Eyebrow raise.
Rather than I shall use a Servitor. And me and a Servitor move it to a room that is typically only for me. Where I'll then research the armor.
Once Brother Felicia is out of the room and has made her way down, I'm sure Magnus lights another low stick. Old man, Sister Sarah is well aware of this, but apparently sitting on this chair that the Lord Inquisitor has acquired from somewhere has the apparently it made me an awakened psycho, and I can do odd things now, and there is an awful lot of background noise when I'm on my own. So if I could have a bit of tutelage, as it were, from someone far more powerful than I.
What would I get from that Sanisians GM?
Didn't you fail?
If if I get anything at all.
Sometimes you still get something from failure.
Yeah, it might literally just be GM goes, well, finding out the guy right in front of you is a psyker is easy to confirm.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just unable to determine his strengths or any shit like that.
Okay. I'll just look at Magnus. I'll look him up and down. Well, what did you have in mind for training?
Well, essentially just, surely there are techniques on how to clear your mind or focus or to stop the noise, as it were. I can't have Sister Sarah follow me everywhere.
I'll probably yeah. Well, there's a few ways to do it, but if you're a bit lazy like me and you can't be asked to concentrate, and I'll reach into a pocket and have a flask that I somehow have there. It helps.
I had imagined. I mean, Magnus like brings his glass up and takes a sip, and it does help. But I had imagined that your time. Now, does Magnus know that you're from the Astra Telepathica?
Yes. That being his records.
Good point. I did read his records at one point. I had imagined that coming from the Telepathica, you would have had some techniques or training, and had to be better than what they give the guard.
Yeah, yeah, there is. I could go over it with you, but it might take some time to actually do reliably. Would you like to practice at some point, or?
Yes, whenever you have the available awake hours to spot me in between your naps or whatever it is you do.
Gotcha. I'll go get a drink then, and then I'll meet you whenever.
Very
And then
good.
I just walk out.
So Magnus will pester you, not massively, but he will call you up from like probably every 2 days. If you don't contact him, he will inquire as to can we do a class. The noises keep happening. Every now and then I taste purple. Just what is going on?
Okay then. I probably would forget about it, and then you remind me, and I'm like halfway through getting drunk, and I'm like, fuck it. I'll be right there, and then I'll make my way up to you.
So, in the... If there are no other questions from Sarah or any of the other acolytes, Magnus would send a astropathic message to Gregorius's astropath, basically saying, contact me whenever the battle is over, once you have the time to, like, non-urgent message, basically, from Magnus Bloodstone. I hope the battle is going well for you, Gregorius. If you need any assistance, ask and I will come and assist you. If the battle is going well, I would very much like to speak to you at one point.
I assume it gets suitably cleaned up between Magnus's brain and his mouth. And one I need to roll to research the armor.
Well, GM, do you want me to... Because we're meant to be on the move, so if Magnus gets the captain to plot a course somewhere, then you can say, right, you've got 2 weeks to travel. You can then spend, a week at a time researching.
Tech use.
Tech use could be one of them. The suit of armor is very much just attempting to discern what sort of components are in it, so tech use I think will work.
Okay.
You quickly figure out that most of the normal power lines of the power armor have been essentially replaced with psychoconductive materials that were normally like the same stuff you would normally find on force weapons, in such a way that the armor is able to absorb the psychic energy of the user as a power source as opposed to needing a regular power source.
So it's not technically heresy, just a weird application of existing technology.
Yeah.
And if I find more of those runes, I will remove all of them, collect them into a stack. They all go to Magnus.
There are none of those runes in the armor itself.
And then I'll have a servitor deliver it back to Altane's room, probably standing so that it's just looks like it's peering down at him when he sleeps. Because that would actually be the ideal placement for delivering it.
GM, have you got any suggestions about where we could go rather than just sitting in the Lord Inquisitor's system for a prolonged amount of time?
We could go back to the planet with the Silver Guard. Or you could find out if we've got any inquisitorial work we can do.
I don't really want to keep going to the Lord Inquisitor and be like, hey, you got a job for me? Got a quest? You know, we've already got one, which is to make sure Thingy doesn't fall into enemy hands.
So essentially, we're given our main quest. Now we gotta find side quests.
Yeah, something along those lines. And I'm just wondering if the Big E up there, or the Big J, however you want to, had anything in mind, or if it's like, we'll head this way, to this Forge world.
You're free to do side quests, let's put it that way.
Okay.
If you want specific rumors or something about where you could possibly go, you'd need to do some intel gathering.
So,
What roles are that?
I roll Archaeotech, and on a successful roll, then bring up perhaps there's an old Archaeotech site in this region we could always explore. Would that be an option for finding interesting places?
Could I use awareness intelligence?
Let me quickly check what skills are available for you to possibly roll in this with. I think stuff like inquiry might work. Awareness might work.
Okay, I will calm
Scrutiny might
down.
work.
I'll calm down to the Lord Inquisitor's. I'll calm to the Lord Inquisitor's. Who would I communicate to about this? Ah, damn it! I didn't do an awareness roll. So if I communicated to the Lord Inquisitor's ship and asked his captain with inquiry to relay any Archaeotech locations or any technologically interesting areas, or I'd possibly go with old battle sites, ship naval combat areas. Could I perhaps do that?
Sure.
Come on, let's find the home of the Jacaros.
Can I use
done it!
awareness?
I might have done it!
Yeah. I was just gonna say, can I use awareness intelligence? But okay. You've done amazing.
Let's roll the dice to see what the fuck
The
kind of
captain's
lead you
female.
find.
The captain's female.
What
Magnus
sort
is
of
just-
lead were you looking for specifically?
So I'm basically asking the captain about technologically interesting places to go or investigate. So Magnus would definitely be pushing for interesting technologically places to go, or failing that, like, are there any old battle sites that we can go and try and, you know, reclaim for the Imperium, like any lost technologies, old.
Have been rumors from a nearby, from a paradise world in this same subsector, that all communications from it have ceased after they reported they'd found something they couldn't identify.
That sounds like a lovely vacation spot.
The report indicates that whatever they found was, according to the local mechanicus, most likely archaeotech, but all communications have ceased since.
Magnus would thank the captain of the Lord Inquisitor's ship, and he would ask his captain to plot a course for that system within the subsector, and we shall go and investigate it.
Very well. The system is 3 jumps away, so you can't do it in 1 jump. And we'll quickly calculate how long the first jump is going to take.
Because they want to follow the established warp routes.
That's fine. At whenever we come out of the warp, and then Magnus would inform the rest of the group, the acolytes, the captain, that we're off to investigate some happenstance and some possible archaeotech in some system somewhere, and we will be to tell Sister Sarah that whilst we're in warp space, to take extra care of our passenger.
I will. I cannot just explain why Little saw it fit to paint its nails.
Where the hell is the...
You're an artist. You could paint its face to make it look more human,
It
I
looks
won't.
human already.
or not as creepy.
It's a servitor, you're not making it less creepy.
Where the hell is the warp travel thing? Was it not in the core rule book?
It's in Rogue Trader.
There was one in...
There's not one in Dark Heresy, annoyingly.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. It's mostly because you don't expect to ever play a navigator. so they don't feel it. Because in all fairness, it's just GM decides does warp events happen. That we're traveling on our own, just kind of fucking off around the universe, makes it all harder. Because we actually have to use Rogue Trader convention for this.
I mean, if
But
you'd like, Jay, you can sort that out for the next episode. Because I know we've kind of dropped that on you straight away without any real...
No, this is warp travel events like the Geller Fields Flicker.
Yeah, oh yeah, let's actually roll for that. That's... No, I'm thinking here, what kind of route are you taking? Estimated warp travel time is 3 months. And now for what kind of warp events will happen. Do anything specific in those 3 months? This is only the first jump.
Magnus would ask if a message had been...
You had sent a message to Gregorius yourself, right?
yeah, through the Astropathic Choir.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted by the whole rolling thing. Could you again say what the message was?
Basically saying, I hope the battle is going well for you. If you need assistance, let me know. If the battle is going well, if the battle is over, then would you please meet me at one point at given location for us to talk.
Okay. Sure.
It also said not urgent message, so for him to reply once he's, not in the middle of battle or anything like that.
All right.
I want to pay during the transport. If I may.
Can you repeat that?
I would attempt another painting during transit.
All right. Gregorius reports that he has been given command of the 17th Legion.
Okay.
Fighting
And
them.
that his war effort is going just incredibly well. But he would request your presence near the final battle to deal with Salvatore himself, which he estimates will take maybe another year or something.
Okay. Then I would send a message back saying, of course, I'll aid you as long as the warp will allow it. I will ensure we are there. And congratulations on leading the 17th.
Yeah. He also has given you the message that they have been named the Emperor's Heralds.
Okay.
Anything else in those first 3 months?
Magnus will just be researching after that. He's spoken to Gregorius. He's done all the things that he needed to do.
If I have
Okay.
time, I'd pursue the research angle Magnus asks me about.
Yeah, and basically the thing is, this fact that you have 3 months means you can do tests you would normally not be able to do because you would not have the time. You have now 3 months to pursue essentially a single thing or multiple things if you want to, but the longer you spent on it, the lower the threshold will be because you have more time to spend on it.
Wait. What's this again? Could you repeat
We
that?
got 3 months of crafting time.
Oh, crafting.
Crafting or research time.
Okay, then I would.
I would
Sorry,
like
go
to
ahead.
spend my first month researching archaeotech weaponry, basically. Would I get any modifiers for that 3 months, or is it flat?
Are you spending only the first month or 3 months?
The first month. I'll spend a month on each, because I want to do archaeotech, Horus Heresy, and the Warp.
Okay, and what specifically archaeotech was are you trying to research?
Archaeotech's weaponry. Archaeotech's
What?
definitely weaponry. Out of character, I'd like Magnus to learn about Archaeotech las guns. In character, he would probably be looking for weapons that could destabilize the warp, or weapons that could be used in our situation with the Lord Inquisitor.
Okay. Would you like the basis of the lead that you have gotten? Specifically,
Yes.
try to find out what kind of device was found.
Yes.
Okay, so then roll me an archaeotech test.
Nope.
Nope.
You have no clue what exactly they found. Um, you can't make sense of what the reports have been given. You can't match it to any sort of archaeotech you know of, which leads you to the conclusion it must be ludicrously ancient. Whatever these guys have found may have been from before the Age of Strife.
Okay. And then I would like to roll for Horus Heresy, basically to learn more about Lorgar, as a commander, as the Legion, basically, yeah, to learn more about his tactics and how he works.
Well, Ron,
Is that just a flat Horus Heresy?
Yeah.
we're on the subject of Lorgar. I want to discreetly look up information about these claims that Lorgar was a traitor.
All right.
Since my first
First, let's do Magnus' test. So.
I'm going to look into the warp. I want to see. Basically, this is to learn about rogue psychers. So he's trying to learn what exactly he is.
Okay.
Huzzah! I got one.
So you're trying to basically figure out what happens to psychers that don't control the powers. Or something.
Yes, very much. I want to do research into basically being a psyker and learning what that actually entails, what I need to be worried about now, what...
And being a psyker means your soul shines brighter in the warp, which also makes it a easier and also a more prioritized target for demons. Should control ever be lost, you could potentially accidentally tear rifts in reality that can cause either harmless or horrible shit to happen.
Awesome.
And what do I need to roll to do this discreetly?
Um, Crap, I forgot what you were reading because I was reading what Henry was doing. I'm doing all the things at the same time. Did you say again what you were trying to roll?
The whole thing about Lorgar
Yeah, Lorgar,
allegedly
right.
betrayed.
Horse Heresy?
Okie dokie. Any modifiers?
Nope. You find records that the Legion, known as the Word Bearers, were at the very least not happy with the Imperium, and basically at the forefront of the Horus Heresy, so that they were a legion that was publicly humiliated by the Emperor and chastised for their actions of essentially telling people to worship him as a god.
Ah,
You also figure out that the legions were all numbered, and that Lorgar's legion was the 17th. So
oh,
besides their name, they also had numbers.
okay then.
Now, for Latilla, Demonology and the Warp.
Mostly demonology at this point. Let's say 2 months for demonology and 1 month for the war.
Okay.
Or
Roll 2 Demonology and 1 Warp test.
I don't have that. I just this is just basically me trying to learn this skill. I'm not gonna roll anything because I don't have that yet.
Okay.
This is me making sure that I can arm myself when the time comes.
Okay. Sarah, first month we already did the painting test.
Mhm.
Didn't really work out. You're a bit too distracted by everything going on.
I was specifically trying to paint Logar.
Doesn't. You don't know what it looks like.
I just keep adding like demonic horns and wings, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
So I assume I should roll warp.
Yeah. What was
Well, Magnus wanted to ask how common the warp used the winged form. So that would be what I would be concentrating on right now.
it's basically the manifestation of wings and gore.
Well, essentially, is it associated with any like specific warp entity or that sort of thing?
Warp phenomenon. What part are you focusing on?
Hmm?
You find that certain warp-born entities can manifest wings and other stuff like that. They can change their appearance, but you also figure out it'd be very hard for people for a demon to maintain their form and keep themselves hidden if they were continuously doing that.
Okay, so essentially, when they would manifest the wings, the illusion would just fall apart. Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the gifted book, which for now, because you have it, I'll say allows you to roll anything Age of Strife related.
Alrighty, I run out of space in Forbidden Lores.
If you got a bunch that have only got one tick, just compile them into a
Yeah,
list.
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna.
Get ready to learn about the betrayal of the sisters and the horrors that they did.
Yeah, well, it's 40k. No one's perfect.
Ah, but did they not get a second chance? Dun dun dun.
You're gonna say that. So
We're
I
still
assume-
killing Lorgar.
Yes. I assume it doesn't give me any ticks and skills. It just makes me.
It makes you able to roll with it.
Okay.
You still haven't studied the subject broadly, so you still get the -20 penalty and everything, but
All right. Essentially, that's the way for me to buy the skill.
Lorgar's a traitor, don't you know?
Yeah, he
Out of
betrayed the
character, I
Emperor
know.
and such.
And
In
Felicia,
character, I don't.
we've told you that he's a traitor, and Felicia's now found evidence that they were chastised. Well, does that mean they'd be important? No, she doesn't know that.
Do you share that information with Sarah?
Fuck no, I'm doing this discreetly.
Mm,
This party doesn't do discreet. I'll spend influence fire to keep this discreet.
I'm sorry. I specifically remember myself getting robes every time we had to be subtle.
and
I remember
then
once
you,
when you didn't.
That wasn't me. That was Sarah.
You were also in power armor.
Oh no! I think
please watch
it
my
was Sarah.
please watch my post about the Blinkquisition.
Yeah, that's us. It's why I'm willing to spend subtlety if I need to be discreet, because I can be discreet. Or rather, I can
Also,
spend influence to be insulting to be discreet.
about my armor upgrade, is that possible at all, Jim?
I don't see what's wrong with Blinkquisition. It works great for Goldilocks.
Also, out of character, Yasuna, you should remember that you're a sister. You know about penitent machines.
I don't understand what penitent engines have anything to do with anything right now.
Your faith should always be strong.
Like
Well,
that God Emperor is a god that's undisputable, but
in any
history
case,
a bit less.
let's go for the second warp jump. The second warp jump will only take you 1 month. It is a shorter jump. There are some fluctuations in the Geller field, but it stays up. You are delayed by a single month. So the trip takes 2 months. Would anyone like to be doing something specific in those 2 months?
Magnus would actually like to send another message to his home world requesting an item be made for him at his home forge if it's possible, and I'll let you know what that is later.
Alright.
I think, at least during the 2 months, I'm going to voice my concerns to Sarah that Magnus is slowly going off the deep end.
How so?
He believes this madness about Lorgar.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I show her the records I found of Lorgar's Legion being chastised. Meaning they really did something wrong. Because it was by the Emperor himself.
If that is true, would that not drive him to treason?
and if he committed treason as a result of that, it should not be even if he's repentant, nothing should allow him to come back or risk bringing other things with him.
See?
You
She
don't,
gets it.
you don't have to
Out of
persuade
character.
me to that case. You know where I stand on the matter. He has to die.
I wish to prevent him coming here. And I'll be doing this really discreetly. If it comes, it'll be down to the point where I'm even like asking her to send the thing out the just far, like outside the room by a wall, and getting it to sit against the wall. I'm not even letting that servitor see.
We should very much limit what synthesis can and cannot see. I'll try to be as discreet as I can around him, but with him essentially chained to me, there's only so much I can do.
I understand. We just need to make sure that nothing can get back. That's. I believe Magnus may be being led around by the nose. And I don't believe for a second that it's Lorgar that's wanting to come through.
Perhaps it was Logar at one point in time. Perhaps it is not Logar anymore, but that's academic at this point. You're right. We cannot allow him to return.
I will do what I can to make sure that any machinery that's created is defective in the long run. But those things must not be completed.
Just be careful. I'm sure Lord Inquisitor has a few tech priests of his own.
Fools playing with toys they don't understand. I fear for our safety if they do start doing things.
When have we ever worked with things we understood?
Until recently, every time we used machinery, I understood what was going on. I do not understand how these ones work, aside from Xenos technology. And now I think I'll be all the conversation there.
Mm-hmm. Probably. I'd probably stick to researching the warp. I don't like that now I can regulate how hard I chuck my dice.
Have you turned on or turned off the automatic dice roller?
Oh, never mind. It turned on automatically. Now should be better. But yeah, 58 on 65.
What were you researching again?
Trying to delve deeper into the warp stuff. Still the same topic, but this
Manifesting wings.
yeah, this time I'm trying to narrow it down more, like maybe if the alignment of the warp-born entity has anything to do with it. For example,
The alignment of a warborn entity, so basically what belief or faith or God spawned it.
what I'm saying is, if maybe the entities aligned with a certain god have a higher tendency to sprout those particular wings in particular than others.
You do not find that yet, but you do find out that the kind of demon it is. So essentially, what god they belong to or what faith they belong to, most definitively affects their appearance.
Okay.
Okay. Last jump will take 1.5 months. Maybe that 2.5, because again something goes slightly wrong and you are delayed.
Wait, so 3 months, then two again? We've been in the war for 7 months now?
2.5, so 7.5 months.
Jesus.
Yeah, at this point we're gonna have to start going back now if we're supposed to, make it to that final battle.
I think I'm going to resume looking up information on Lorgar.
Yeah. Scrap that 1 year part. I'll give you a sign when the final battle thing is about to begin.
Yeah.
Warp travel is always messing up your plans and
Thing
carefully
is,
crafted timelines.
it could be assuming what works perfectly. It is a year. Because of how the war works, it might be a millennia before we even see the finish of the fight. Because both sides got to jump to a system to go fight each other, and then neither of them arrive for like 7,000 years.
Wouldn't that
But
be a
the
gambit?
fight still shows up 6,000 years before.
Wouldn't that be a gambit? Like you jump with the intention of being so late that your opponent thinks they've won, and then they get complacent, and after like 100 years you poke out of the warp. Genius, tactical genius,
Or you arrive before you left.
or that.
Because I love how in Rogue Trader you can do that.
See, but then they would be expecting you.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's been an entire year now since we became well, since Magnus became an Inquisitor, and I became a interrogator. Why bloody warp travel?
Yeah. And I'm gonna roll Horus Heresy then to look up more information on Lorgar. I still doubt that this is the real Lorgar.
Specific information about the Word Bearers Legion is that they were particularly loyal, as in the Legionnaires were extremely loyal to their Primarch. Whatever cause he deemed to be the right one, they would follow.
So I'm assuming when we arrive, we'll probably get a fate refresh.
Yeah,
I'll spend 1 fate point to get another degree of success. Does that help?
you can't do that afterwards.
I'm pretty sure it's a use of fate. Give me a sec.
Yeah, but you have to declare that before the roll.
You
If you want
do?
to get the plus 10. If you want to get
I
the
think
plus 10,
Jay's
you
right
have to
there.
declare it before the roll.
I think Jay's right
No.
there, because then you can't
Add a degree of
use
success
fate
to a
point.
successful test. Only to a successful test. It's maybe chosen after the dice are rolled. 294.
Alright.
If you don't want me to do it, I'll just roll another time and add the plus 10 or something.
No, that's the case. You get 1 more degree of success. You find out they created an institution within the legions known as a chaplaincy.
Okay then.
Anything else?
That's all I'd have been researching. Literally just Lorgar.
No, but everybody else.
Um,
If I could make one more warp roll, I would.
Sure.
No dice.
Alright.
Magnus would roll Archaeotech again for the any information on the type of weapon that could have been used on the planet that we're going to, or in the system that we're going to?
So basically, again, what they found. So raw architect. You still have no clue what they found.
Oh, yeah, and what does Altain do during this time, Duca?
Drink and sleep.
Occasionally he teaches Magnus. He would be surprisingly hard.
So, first thing you have to do, Magnus, you need a flask of these, you need to fill it with booze, and every time you're going to cast, you have to take a sip.
That's
And
what
then
Magnus is
he
learning
says
at the
not to
moment.
do it, and I'm just like, wrong! And I just slap him.
Despite the fact that Altain knows the correct method from the Black Ships.
No, I'd be genuine with him. But I'd be really strict if he didn't understand it. What do you mean you don't understand it? It's simple.
Anyways, I think as you arrive in system, where the planet with the blank communications that have not since resumed, the moment you arrive there, I think that's where we'll end the session.
Okay then.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on this this rather information-filled episode. Thank you to our GM for doing this episode. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next one. So, take care, everyone. And as always, bye-bye for now.
See ya.